Hello. Here is another week. Here is another month. Here's another episode. And here's another friend. Lenore, welcome to the show.
Hello, so good to be here.
Oh, we'll see about that because this is
Fair
pure
enough.
chaos, pure mayhem, but also so much fun, so much professionalism all in one place. It's
Super profesh, I can tell.
professional-ish. We're professional adjacent.
Okay.
Ooh, I
Look
like
at ish
that.
being in like 72-point font. I love it. I'm here for it.
I have no idea what any of these words mean, but sure. Anyways, for those that haven't met
More
you before,
ish
Lenore,
than professional.
yes. What? Let me get back to the point where I asked Lenore who she is, because some people may not have met her, which is the entire purpose of this show. So, Lenore, who are you?
Hi. I'm Lenore Flower. I run a company called Data Plumber LLC, and I describe myself as a training first consultant. So basically, what I love to do is a mix of training and consulting to be sort of companies' data Mary Poppins, come in, help them get things fixed and set them up for success. That's what I do.
Love that.
Ada
Do you have a
Mary
magic
Poppins.
bag?
I love that.
I do. Someone actually referred to the bag that I bring for trainings as a Mary Poppins bag without me even sharing that at a training I did a couple weeks
Amazing.
ago, because I was like, I've got stapler, I've got 3,000 other things. We need an HDMI cord. I got it. So yes, I feel very at home in that personality character.
Do you have
Nice.
Data Mary Poppins stickers? Because if not, you really should have them.
Ooh.
As of right now, in March, no. Once this goes live in June, definitely. I think you're spot on. I will work on that.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice.
The number
All
of
right.
stickers that have been developed on this show is incredible.
That means you're my kind of people.
This show kind of needs an attached sticker production, because we need to get faster with the turnaround time rather than
True.
sending them off afterwards. But we're gonna get there.
Okay.
I think it's time to push the first button on that amazing soundboard, right, Jazz? So here we
Push
go.
the button.
What's your favorite data thing?
Okay, can I give a really corny answer? Is that allowed, or does it have to be
Of
technical?
course.
Okay,
Nope.
excellent. My favorite data thing is the community that comes up around data. The thing that I am most excited about right now in the data world is the conference we're going to have locally, where we have a newbie speaker happy hour. And I get to dress up in a unicorn onesie as a way to help people who are first-time speakers not be so nervous. And that comes from talking to someone last year where I was trying to go through all the different reasons why she was afraid to get behind the podium. And there were things like, I don't know what to talk about. I don't feel like I am advanced enough. And I sort of went through, I was like, all right, what if we tag you with a mentor? What if we give you a little bit of group support ahead of time? The last thing was, no matter what, I'm going to be embarrassed, because I'm going to embarrass myself behind the podium. And my commitment to her was, okay, so if I show up in a unicorn onesie and make sure that you are not going to be the most embarrassing person in the room, no matter what, will you take the leap? And that seems to give people some comfort.
Good to
and
know.
I think the community around data is just really special and full of kids that never got out of that mindset of asking why over and over again. And I've just really loved being able to be part of it over the past 10 years.
Yeah, it's super cool. I think, well, we've talked about this previously, but the data community and like the people within it are massive reasons why me and Ben love this space too, right? So the people we get to meet, the people we get to learn from and share stuff with, it's totally awesome.
What I've always found amazing is, even when they're people that I don't have anything else in common with, that fundamental desire to be like, but why is it like this? And get excited when there's a solution is something that ties everybody together in a way that I don't think you can find in most other places.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jess.
Go on. I was just going to say, and I think that also, if there was a unicorn at my first speaking engagement, it probably would have gone better also. So
what's especially fun is that I wasn't the only one, and we've got an upswing in people that have committed to wear some sort of costume. So last year we had a Yeti and 3 wonderful people in inflatable duck costumes. And this year, I've gotten a few more people to commit to onesies, and we're going to hand out those things that they have at weddings where you can have glasses and mustaches so that everyone can get in on the fun. But yeah, any way that we can make it a little easier for people that may not have otherwise considered getting behind the podium, I think is just a great time and really wonderful.
No, that's.
This
I
is
mean, this is really brilliant because, as you know, we've put a lot of thought in how we can get new speakers on this stage. But so far, I'm going to admit that our thought process was more practical than yours. How can we make it technically more easier by providing that virtual setup that we do at New Stars? How can we?
Oh
You
yeah,
already mentioned mentorship, which is still a huge part.
totally.
Because just the fact that somebody shows up dressed as a unicorn is not going to make all that prep work go away.
Yeah,
But getting to that question, hey, because you can talk to people and convince them that they have a story to tell because everybody does. It may not be
totally.
a 500 level, have done this for 10 years talk, and at this time, I'm going to be like, in this day and age of tech where nothing requires 10 years of experience because whatever we did 10 years ago doesn't matter anymore. I mean, let's face it, some of the things we did 10 days ago is not accurate anymore. So
Totally.
this becomes less and less a thing. This was more a thing, honestly, a couple of years back when we're like, okay, we were thinking release cycles and all that, and you need to have done this exact thing. That's something that you can convince people of in talking, but doing more to really take that stage fright. And I think that idea of just doing something silly and be like, hey, if you feel like everybody's going to stare at you, we're going to do something so they stare at me without stealing their thunder.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you. I would love to see you in a unicorn onesie, Ben, at any time. So feel free to steal the idea. I think a lot of this is about helping people get beyond the scary and into the joy. And there's just so much joy in being a speaker in this community. So, yeah, it's
I
pretty
mean,
fun.
my thing is usually wearing silly suits.
Okay, that is close. You're on par.
If you just had a
However,
headband
one
with
horn
a
I
way.
haven't done
Yeah.
this specifically for like a new speaker thingy or so. So
Yeah.
I did it to play with stereotypes,
Oh, I love
or to
that.
just match a theme or something like that. I haven't done it specifically for new speaker events. So,
I
but
feel an idea is hatching.
well, it's not really hatching because somebody else already had that idea. So I feel like an idea is stealing, but that works for me as well.
Yeah, that's
Plus,
fine
I've been
too.
given
This isn't
permission
Lovingly
to steal.
handed
So.
over. Anyone is welcome to grab this, but I do think it makes a huge difference. That emotional factor is so huge. So much about the fear of not getting behind the podium is not rational. So you can't necessarily optimize your way out of it. But that's where the fun comes in, right? And when you get everybody cheering with and advocating for the new speakers because they're part of the experience together, there's just an upswell of community that I think is really freaking beautiful.
I always feel you get quite a high from like the public speaking part, like when you give your session and like people have asked questions and it's gone okay and you're like, oh yeah, that was amazing, and then you
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to submit another one, I'm going to do it again, and then that high like not wears off, but you know, you come down from it and you're like, oh no. But like as a first speaker, they have to make that jump without the high, right? Like
You have to make, and
exactly.
that
It is
first
terrifying.
presentation, this is actually where I usually can tell at this point if that person is going to have a quote unquote speaker career or if we're never going to see them again, at least on the podium, because you can see how much effort they put into it. Because that's another thing. People realize, okay, putting a talk together, especially for the first time, that's a lot of work. But even more so, you can tell, did they actually enjoy doing that? Or did they do it because they kind of, there may have been people out there that kind of sweet talked them into it. And they still didn't enjoy it. And they're like, there is no in between. Either they were brilliant because they were like, okay, I'm willing to put all that effort in, and I really enjoyed it, and that was good and everything. Or it's like, okay, this wasn't for me. Some may say it out straight out, and some may just be like, oh, we'll see about that. But after that first presentation, I can usually be, and I've been pretty much spot on that in the past.
I want to throw in a gentle door number 3 that I've noticed, which is abject terror that translates into I want to do that again. I can do it better. I saw that last year with someone that was so nervous. And when we went to the speaker dinner afterwards in Leslie's backyard, he was talking about, oh, okay, I can see how I could do this better this time. Next time I can do it differently. Like he spent the whole time that we were at the dinner just slowly mulling and processing. And I think he's got a beautiful speaker career ahead of him, but it'll take him some time to work through those walls as well. So I don't know. I think sometimes people can surprise you in that third way.
And agreed. So my point was not basically in that first talk either they're already at their best or it's not going to happen, but you can still see on how they approach it on basically their facial
totally.
expression at the end of because everybody at the end of their
That's
first
so
talk is
true.
like, oh,
Yeah.
this was horrible. Because well, if you kind of finish your very first talk with, oh, this was the best I can do, I'm like, I think you're really a natural or I have questions.
Fair enough.
Having that, I could talk about this for the next
I know.
weeks,
I
to be quite
chose
honest.
a topic that's hard to move on for you, Ben. Sorry about that.
But that's cool. We're here for that. But still, there's another button. I mean, there's 2 more buttons I have to push. So here's
Press
button
the
number 2.
button.
What's your favorite non-data thing?
Okay, so I wanted to say making things, but you already told me I can't do that. So I'm going to say making costumes.
Okay.
Right now, I'm getting very excited about sequel bits. I'm not speaking, I'm just attending for nerdy vacation. And this year,
I mean,
sequel
you
bits.
have attended about 8 weeks ago, right?
Yes, I did
Time
attend.
travel.
So in the past,
How was it?
I'm sure it was amazing. So the costumes that I will have worn are all based on my hair, which is purple. I don't know if you can tell. But because it's cartoon themed, I created a Steven Universe Amethyst costume and a costume from Scott Pilgrim versus the World for Ramona Flowers and one for Leela, who is a character from Futurama. So I can have a different costume every day. And making costumes is a very silly way to engage with the data community. But as soon as I saw Sequel Bits encourages costumes, I was like, that is the mothership. I got to go. So very excited about that. And then I have a conference in May that I will have gone to called Dynamics Con that is in Las Vegas. And I will have made an Elvis costume for that because I can.
Also, Vegas encourages Elvis costumes. Let's
I think
maybe you
it
can marry
is.
some people while you're there.
Yeah, totally. Just get that in the pocket on top of everything else I do. Just get ready. Oh God, can you imagine a nerd wedding at a conference? Now I
Yes,
want that to happen.
I think we've had a nerd proposal at a conference.
Really? Did they say
Yeah,
yes?
Ben caused it.
Okay. Oh yeah.
It was
Okay,
a
there's a
venture.
very good
it
story
was a
here.
group effort. However, what I'm going to say is, to this day, they're still not married. So
Yeah, we were just talking about that last week.
Oh man. Okay.
my group
Well,
effort may not have been.
I
are they
suggested
still
that
together?
we did it at Data Girl. And
Yeah, they're
they are
still together.
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, that counts as half a point, I feel like. Get to it when they get to it.
For
All
sure.
the same.
Well, I bring it up from time to time. I also made sure that that my contact detail is now stored in the bride's phone as Ben Bestman. So just in case there were any
Excellent.
questions.
Well done.
Smart.
Well, let's see.
What?
If you can hear us, you know who you are. Shall we push the third button, Jess? Because
Time for a quiz.
it's time for a quiz.
Jess
Oh, no.
and Ben, guess your favorite food.
So you cannot tell us what your favorite food is, but you got to give us, depending on how complicated it is, one or multiple clues, and we're going to guess it.
Okay.
And we're keeping
So-
score.
My favorite food is something spicy,
Curry.
and it is from the continent of Africa.
Okay.
And is not vegetarian friendly.
Oh.
Give us a country.
Ethiopia.
I know what it is, but I don't remember the name.
This is so fun.
I have no idea. Spicy sausage.
I mean, you're not that far off. It's
Okay.
do you want me to give it to you?
Yeah.
It's beef awaze tibs. It's a really gorgeously spicy food that usually when you go to an Ethiopian restaurant in the DC area, you'll have your beef tips in the middle and you'll have all the wonderful, glorious vegetables that are made like little sections of them. And you get this giant combo platter and you lose your mind in joy with all the spices and the flavors. Ethiopian population in my area is pretty big, which means that we have amazing awaze tibs. And the first time I had it, I think it was a religious experience. I may have cried a little bit, and that was only partly because of the spiciness.
I was going to say, and that was not
So
because
good.
of the spice. Okay. Here we go.
Only in part. It was really good. So yeah, I am a huge fan of Ethiopian food in general, and awaze tibs in particular.
Oh, we have a very nice
Amazing.
Ethiopian place here, actually. But since I do not eat meat, I get the vegetable version of that flavor. So you basically get the same
so
thing. You get all the vegetables and the spices and the bread
it's
and
so
everything.
good.
So
Their
same thing except for the meat.
vegan food is amazing. Have you had the mezerwat, the lentils, the red lentils? They're really spicy.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay,
Because I have pretty much everything that's non-meat on their menu. But
excellent.
it's actually been a while
That's
since we've been.
oh,
Because
you
um,
gotta go.
I know, but here's the thing. One thing I really like about it is that it's spicy and everything.
Mhm.
That's not necessarily compatible with my daughter's palate. So here we
I
are.
see. Yeah,
Um,
that's fair. Something to grow into, perhaps.
exactly. I'm
Yeah,
getting
very
it.
cool.
All right. This was amazing. I would love to keep talking about new speakers and costumes and all that. And delicious food, by the way. But unfortunately, we are at time. But this was a fun episode. Thank you so much for joining and sharing and chatting with us. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we shall see you in 2 weeks with yet another friend. Bye.
Bye.